All right, guys, I am back with another video, and I haven't posted on this channel in about 2 weeks now. That's because I have been doing home renovations, which is coming along pretty nicely. But I thought, I'm looking at my content and I was like, let me publish a video. Let me get back into the grind of building this digital product business. So I previously spoke about info products, and that is creating an ebook. And I thought today, one of you guys said that you would love to know more about how to build other types of info products. So I thought today I'll come and show you how to create and sell webinars as an info product. So if you are interested in that, then stay tuned. And if you are joining me for the first time, then welcome. So glad to have you. My name is Dawn Marie. I am a digital marketer, and I'm here on this channel documenting my journey of starting a digital product business from scratch, where I'm showing you behind the scenes of everything that I get up to. So if you are interested in that and would love to follow along with me, then please do subscribe. Welcome to the channel, and let's get right to the video. So this video is for those of you who want to create an online class, a meeting, an online lecture, an online workshop, online webinar. They all mean the same thing, but the essence of it is that you are sharing your knowledge or selling your knowledge to your customers, and you're teaching them something. But to easily do that, you do need some software tools to set up. And that's what I'm about to show you, what those tools might look like and how to put them together so that you can host your first webinar. Okay, so here's a checklist of things you will need. Google Meet, which is free for all users. So that's the first thing. You'll need a Gmail account to use Google Meet. However, if you don't have one, you can simply create one at gmail.com. You will also need a website that helps you showcase your webinar and sell the tickets. Now, there are many online tools that you can use, but you really want a platform that allows you to set up the webinar and home front of it and deliver information to your registrants, preferably automatically, so they will know what to expect in preparation for the webinar. So this is something just like if someone signs up for your webinar, they're then delivered an email with more information about how to attend the webinar. There is a free platform called Eventbrite that allows you to do this. And in this video, I'm going to show you just how to set that up. Next, you will need a payment processor to process payments because, as you know, how else are people going to pay for your webinar? Because this is a paid for product that we are selling. And the good news is that this is also integrated in Eventbrite. So it really kills two birds with one stone, and you won't need any third-party processor like PayPal or Stripe. Now, alternatives to Eventbrite is using your own website and then using PayPal or Stripe to take payments. This is what I do since I use Lead Pages for my website pages and then Stripe as my payment processor. I also use an email marketing software called Aweber so that when people register, they can be added to my email list and I can continue to have conversations with them after they have registered. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to use Eventbrite with Google Meet for your webinar. Okay, so those are the tools that you need, right? It's very simple. So let's set everything up. So first we're going to go to Google Meet, and you can do this in two ways. You can go to, well, if you have a Google account, because I'm using Google Chrome, you can go to these 9 dots here, and then you will find the Meet icon where you can click on it, or you can simply go to meet.google.com. Now, Google Meet is also a premium service under Google's Workspace, but you can see that they also offer it for free to its users. So that means that you can create a webinar and invite up to 100 participants and meet for up to 60 minutes per webinar. So if you want additional features such as recording the video, maybe the ability to dial in from a telephone, or admin controls such as allowing people to chat or ask questions, then you will need to upgrade your account. Now, to create your webinar, you can do it in two ways. You can either click here, New Meeting, then create a meeting for later, or schedule the meeting in Google Calendar. Now, if you create a meeting for later, you just click there, but make sure that you are copying this link because this link is needed for when you are creating Eventbrite or setting up the Eventbrite platform. So you just copy this link somewhere for later. But if you want to schedule the meeting in your calendar, and that might be useful as a reminder to yourself, you can click schedule in Google Calendar. That will then open up your Google Calendar where we can begin adding some details. So here I am going to add my webinar. I mean, this information is really only for your purpose. So it's just really for your reference. So let's begin by adding the title. I have all my webinar details here. I'm going to bring this tab over here, and I'm just going to copy and paste. So I have stated that I want my webinar to be in, where is it? The 19th of April at 6:30 p.m. So I'm just going to click on the date, scroll across to the 19th of April. I'm going to also select my time. It's going to be at 18:30. And it's going to be for 1 hour. So 18:30 to 19:30. Don't forget that a free Google Meet account allows you to create a meeting or webinar for up to an hour only. And then it's going to be ending at 9:30 or 7:30 p.m. on the same day. The time zone you can set as whatever time zone that you are in. I'm going to leave mine as United Kingdom. Then I'm also going to click join with Google Meet. So this is the link that you would need to share with people in Eventbrite. So make sure that you take a note of it. You don't need to add a location because, again, this is only for your purpose. If you want a notification, so for example, Google Calendar to notify you about the event, you can set a notification, whether that's 30 minutes or a day or how many ever. So you can see that you can select here minutes, you can select maybe an hour, a day out, a week out, whatever you wish to do. And then also you can add a description as well. Again, this is merely for your purpose, so you don't need to add this description. You will, however, need all this information for Eventbrite. Now, do you see this part over here that says add guests? Right now, we don't have that information and we won't be using it because we're not going to use this feature to notify registrants about the link to the webinar. Instead, I'm going to show you later how to use Eventbrite to let your registrants know how to join. And that's really all that you need to do. So we're going to save that. It will save in your calendar. Also, just make a note of the actual meeting link. So I'm going to go over to my calendar. I have the event here, and I'm just going to copy the conference info as you saw. It's the meeting link, and I'm just going to insert that quickly. Okay, so with that set up, now let's set up Eventbrite. So you can see how quickly I did that first part. Let's now go to Eventbrite. So you can type in eventbrite.com. They also have a domain .co.uk depending on which part of the world you are in. I'm going to go with .co.uk since I'm already in the UK. So you can sign up for an account where you enter your details. And once you have signed up for an account and you have logged in, you will come to this screen here. Now, Eventbrite is an event management website that helps you sell tickets to events. So you can literally have any type of event, whether that's an offline event like a conference, or online events like webinars, workshops, you name it. Now, Eventbrite is like a marketplace, so there are other people who have their own events here as well. So you can get inspiration from them if you want to when setting up your own event. And also, it is free to get started. But like any product, there are also pro features where you would need to pay. Now, with Eventbrite, your buyers actually pay transaction fees, or you can choose to cover this yourself. So the good news is that there is no upfront cost to you. If your webinar is free, then there are no fees to pay as well. But why would you want to promote a free webinar, right? When the goal is to make money. Okay, so let's get started with setting up Eventbrite. And let's start by creating an event. So I'm going to enter my event title here. It already states who the organizer is. So when you have set up your account, the details that you entered when you created your account will be generated right here. The type of event that I am going to have is a course, training, or workshop. There are a list of types of events that you can also select depending on what your webinar is going to be about. And the category that I'm going to be in is business and professional, because that is who I am marketing to. I'm marketing to business and professional people. You can also have a subcategory if you want to. In this case, I think sales and marketing would be a good fit for myself, or you can choose other if none of the subcategories work for you. Now let's enter some tags here, which are keywords that my target audience will be using as they search for events to attend. Eventbrite says to enter 10, so I'm going to do so quickly. Okay, so with my 10 tags entered, I'm now going to move on to the location, and my webinar is going to be an online event. I'm going to add a date and time. It's going to be a single event. My event will start on the 19th of April at 18:30, and it will end on the 19th of April at 19:30. I do want to display the start time, so I will let my audience know when the webinar starts, as well as I do want to display an end time. My time zone will be in the UK, and my language will be in the UK as well. I'm going to save and continue. Now you can add an image to your event. Eventbrite recommends having an image because it says 82% of attendees prefer main event images that shows an event's vibe and atmosphere. Plus, it will help your event to stand out in the list of other events that your target audience are likely to see in the marketplace. So I'm going to upload an image. If you are creating an image, make sure that it is according to the recommended image size of 2160 times 1080 pixels. Then I'm also going to enter a summary. So whilst the topic of the webinar is how to use partnerships to grow your email list, I'm just going to break that down further to let people know what the webinar is about. Next, I'm going to enter a description for my webinar. You can also add an image or video in addition to the text that you have in the description box, but I'm going to leave it like that. I'm also going to add an agenda and FAQ because I want people to know what they would learn on the webinar, which is something that you can use to increase conversions. If people have an idea of exactly what they will be learning, you can include that here. So I'm going to click on add. Then I'm going to add the agenda items from here. I'm also going to add an FAQ because if you have hosted events before or you know the type of questions that your target audience will have, it is better to answer those questions so that you do not leave any doubt in people's mind as they try to make the decision of whether to purchase your webinar. So it's always best to put those FAQs and, well, answers to those questions on your event page. So I'm going to add that now. Okay, so those are all the FAQs that I have for this webinar, as you can see here. Now let's save and continue. Okay, so here is your attendee event page. So essentially, anyone who has registered for the webinar would be able to access this event page. And what Eventbrite is telling you to do is to connect your provider, your webinar host provider, on this page so that they can notify your registrants of where to go when the webinar has started. But what I've realized is that anyone who registers, they will be sharing this link or page with them. And if they were to go to that page before the webinar starts, they might see the link to join the webinar, and it makes no sense for them to see that link at that time because no one will be on the webinar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to page settings, and then I'm going to just toggle this off so that it is disabled. Then I will click apply and save and continue. Okay, so let's create our ticket so that we can get paid. I'm going to name my ticket and leave it as general admission. The quantity that is available, remember that Google Meet only allows you to host up to 100 participants in your webinar if you are using a free account. So I'm going to leave it as 100. The price of my ticket, I'm going to leave it as £65. And you will be able to have the registrant or the buyer pay for the transaction fee when they purchase their ticket, or you can absorb the fees if you want to. So I'm going to click that I will absorb the fee. So what the buyer will see is that they will pay £65 and then you will absorb the transaction fees yourself. So that will be your expense. So when the sales start, I want sales to start immediately. So I'm going to leave it as today's date, and I'm going to have it end on the date of the webinar just before the webinar starts. Now, there are a few settings that may be useful under advanced settings. So, for example, you can show the end dates of your ticket sales and sale status at checkout. So I'm going to tick for that to be shown. You can tell your registrants more about this ticket if you want to, and you can have it visible. I want this ticket to be visible. I also want people to only be able to purchase a minimum of one and a maximum of one. And it's only going to be through an online ticket. So people will get an e-ticket. I'm going to click save. Okay, so you can see that Eventbrite now has a prompt where it's asking you where are they going to pay out the currency to, or the funds to you once payment has been received. And it's going to be, I'm in the United Kingdom and the currency is GBP. And also this is how much it will be, or how much the currency that your registrants will see as well. All right, this is looking good. Now, there are a few things as well that you need to pay attention to on the tickets page. For example, you may have add-ons that gives people the opportunity to purchase additional items from you. So this is similar to an upsell. You may have bundles that you want to include, workbooks, worksheets, or even books that you have as well, or even additional products that you have that you want to sell as well. You can use those add-ons. There's also promo codes if you want to give people the option of using discounts when they purchase the ticket. You can hold a certain number of tickets. For example, if you have a selection of VIP tickets, or maybe you have employee tickets that you want to put a hold on, let's say 5 out of 100 that cannot be sold, then Eventbrite will make sure that 5 tickets are reserved. And then there is also some additional settings here. I do not want to display the number of tickets remaining. So this is useful for just in case sales are not going so well. You don't want to show how many tickets are remaining because people may be deterred from actually purchasing if they realize that no one else is purchasing. And I'm also going to select the event type as registration event. So when people get to the checkout, they will see to reserve a spot. If you want people to say get tickets when they check out, then you can click ticketed event. And then also you can display a message after ticket sales has ended. So for example, if once the sale has ended, perhaps you can say something like the sale has ended, look out or check back next month for when I host another event, just to get people to continue making people excited for the next event that is coming, or looking forward to the next event that is going to come. Then I'm going to click on save. Okay, so I return to my admission screen. Everything looks good, and I'm going to click on next. And finally, this is where you are able to publish your event. But before you do that, let's just preview it to make sure that our event page looks exactly as we want it to look. Okay, so this is what people will see. The date of the event, the topic, a subtitle, who the event is by, so they can follow me if they want to, the price of the ticket, and they can check out for the webinar. They also have the date and time of where the webinar is going to be. It's an online location. I do need to include a refund policy as well. Then I have a bit more information about the event, my agenda, frequently asked questions, and that's it. So that looks pretty good. You can also see what it looks like on mobile. Okay, perfect. Now you can see here that Eventbrite does give you some additional tips that you can use to optimize your event. Now, one of the things that I wanted to do was to set a refund policy. So I'm just going to click on set your refund policy, and then you can include that refund here. So I'm going to click on no refunds and then save. Okay, so my event is looking good. You can either schedule this event to be published at whatever date and time that you wanted to, or you can publish this event now. I am going to publish my event now. Now, once the event is published, you also have two final steps to make before you are absolutely ready. And on the left-hand column section, attendees. Okay, so Eventbrite automatically sets up an email to send to attendees 2 days before the event. You can create a new attendee email so that you send the event link to people perhaps an hour or 10 minutes before the event. You don't want to send it too early because people are likely to click on the link and go to the webinar even though it hasn't yet started. So keep that in mind. So I am going to just include a message. Okay, I want this to go to all attendees. And there are options available for you. So it could be all attendees registered after a certain date. Perhaps you have already sent them and sent people who registered before a certain date a specific email, but you only want to send those registered after a specific date, a very specific email. You can select specific attendees, attendees by ticket type if you have more than one ticket that you're selling, and then additional options as well. But I'm going to select all attendees who have registered for this event. I'm also going to just change this subject line. So I'm going to put, here is your link to attend the webinar. I'm going to include the link in the message as well. I'm going to make sure that the event details are included in the message. And when do I want to send this email? So this is very important. You want to send it. I'm going to click on the third option, and I want to send it 10 minutes before the event starts. Just check the box to make sure that you're agreeing with Eventbrite's terms and conditions, and then click Save. Perfect. So you have one email that will go out 2 days before the event and another email that will go out 10 minutes before the event. If you want to, you can add an additional email that perhaps could go out 24 hours before the event. That's entirely up to you. So now that we have added the email and people know how to attend the webinar, the next thing that you want to do as well, of course, is to add your bank details. So to set up your payment methods. So you will go to payment and tax, then payout method. And then when you come here, you just simply add your payout method. So whether that is a PayPal account or your bank account. And that is how you set everything up with Eventbrite to have your first webinar. Okay guys, so that was my step-by-step video that shows you how to get your webinar set up. So if you have gotten everything started, now it's time to market it and let other people know about it. And if you're not quite sure where to start, then be sure to check out my 10-day action plan for setting up and launching your own digital product, which I'll make sure to link in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I love creating this type of content for you. Give me a like to let me know you enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye now.